Welcome to the Nutrition 101 video series. Thank you for taking part. Thank you for watching. In this first video, we're just going to cover some basic nutritional knowledge, some terms, some facts. Maybe you'll learn something. So here we go. To start with, macros. Macros is just short for macronutrients. The macronutrients are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Proteins have 4 calories per gram, as do carbohydrates, 4 calories per gram, and fats 9 calories per gram. A lot of people use the macro counts to add up their totals at the end of the day and get their total caloric intake. It's really easy to get your caloric intake in this manner. Multiply your proteins times 4, that'll give you your total calories from protein. Multiply your carbohydrate grams times 4, that'll give you your total calories from carbohydrates. Multiply your fat grams times 9, that'll give you your total calories from fats, and then add those 3 together. Then you have your total caloric intake for the day. One of the most popular diets in the last 10 years is if it fits your macros. Basically what that means is you can eat anything in the world as long as it fits within your carbohydrate, fat, and protein parameters. This is not something I believe in, obviously, for every one of you who know me, and something I definitely don't advocate whatsoever because the micronutrients aren't the same. Everyone's always concerned about the macronutrients, your proteins, carbs, and fats, but what about your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your iron, your zinc, your calcium, your carotenoids, your antioxidants, everything that makes up the food, the real food? That's what we need. That's what sustains us. It has to be the macros plus the micronutrients, not just the macros. No matter what your goals when it comes to fitness, whether it be losing body fat or gaining muscle, consistency is across the board one of the hardest things for people to accomplish. Counting your macros consistently and getting in the same amount of calories day in, day out is extremely important when you're trying to reach your goals, no matter if you are trying to gain muscle or lose body fat. If you're consistently getting in X amount of calories every day and you hit a plateau, what do? Well, you just drop a few more 100 calories and you're off and running again on that deficit, and you continue losing body fat, continue getting down to your healthy body weight. Same thing goes when you're trying to gain weight. If you've hit a plateau, if you know that you've hit X amount of calories every day, all you have to do is go back to the drawing board, add in a few hundred more calories, and you should be off and running again with your muscle gain or weight gain. Consistency is where most people fall short, and it is one of the easiest things to control. If you're getting in 2,000 calories one day, 2,500 the next, 1,200 the day after that, that makes it absolutely impossible to know what to do. So if you're consistently getting in the same amount of calories every day and you do hit a plateau or you're not liking the way your results are coming, it makes it very simple to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, I've been getting in 2,000 calories. Let's try 1,700 for a few weeks and see where that gets us. So how can you be more consistent? The number one way you're going to be consistent is to prep your food ahead of time. This is where 99% of people fall short, and it is one of the easiest things to do if you just set aside the time to do it. Preparing your food ahead of time is going to allow you to get that consistency. You're going to know, okay, I'm getting in X amount of calories every day, and you're not hung out to dry when you leave the house without any food in the morning. If you leave the house without your food in the morning, you're setting yourself up for failure. 100% failure. You're going to get out, you're going to get hungry, then you're going to go to Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or wherever is available to you to get some food in, or you're just not going to eat at all. Another way you can be consistent is to weigh your food, which is, again, 100% necessary. You can't just eyeball your food and think, that looks like 4 ounces, that looks like 6 ounces. That adds another variable to your diet every day, you could be getting in too much, you could be getting in too little. If you weigh your food, again, you're eliminating a variable and you're being more consistent across the board. First thing I'd like for everybody to do on this slide is to ask yourself the question, which one of these meals is going to stay with you longer, keep you full longer, keep you satisfied longer? Is it the chicken with vegetables and rice, or is it the Pop-Tart and the protein shake? I'm not saying that a protein shake every now and then is bad, or if you're in a pinch, you're working a 12-hour shift as a nurse, or whatever the case may be, a protein shake is absolutely better than doing nothing. However, I would never instruct you or advocate for anyone to exchange something garbage like a Pop-Tart for your brown rice or gummy bears for a sweet potato. Even though the macronutrient count is basically the same, the micronutrient count is not even close. You can look at the plate on the left and automatically you should know, okay, the micronutrients are probably going to be a little higher than the Pop-Tart on the right. Also, you're going to have more fiber in the dish on the left than what's on the right. So not only are we looking at antioxidants here, we're looking at clean food. We have to think about the fiber content. We have to think about the nutrient density and how long the food is going to sustain you so you stay full and you're not starving in 30 minutes after you eat that Pop-Tart and protein shake. I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody give me the excuse, I can't afford to eat like that. When I know this person goes out to eat fast food at least once a day, this person goes out to eat a dinner at least 2 to 3 times a week, this person drinks a Coke once a day, or is a smoker, or the list goes on and on. The point is, if you want to afford to eat clean, you can afford to eat clean. I'm sure that every person watching this video has a $1,000 iPhone or a $1,000 Droid phone in their pocket right now. If you want to afford something, you're going to find a way to do it. If you want to be a healthier person and you want to live longer, you're going to find a way to do it. And if you just look and you take the time to do your homework and not only cut costs elsewhere, but just look for foods in the grocery store that do fall within your budget, you're going to find a way to do it. And this picture is a perfect example of it. You can spend $20 two different ways right here. You can spend $20 at KFC on a family bucket of chicken, or you can go to the grocery store and spend $20. That's enough food there to feed a huge family right there. So it's all about choices. It's all about what's important to you. If being healthy is important enough to you, you're going to find a way to eat clean. There are plenty of foods available to us that do fall within your budget, especially all those who are walking around with iPhones in your pocket, drinking Cokes every day, eating out at fast food restaurants all the time. If you cut costs elsewhere, there is no doubt in my mind 99% of people can afford to eat clean. So proteins, I think most of us know that proteins are going to help to repair the damage you've done to your muscle in the gym. If you aren't getting in enough protein, then you are not going to recover like you should from your workouts. One thing a lot of people don't think about is that proteins are also responsible for your hormone production, partially responsible for your hormone production, and enzyme activities, chemical reactions in your bodies. Enzymes are made by proteins. And for all my vegans out there, animal protein is also the most dense, the most complete, and most bioavailable form of protein that there is. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a vegetable that can match up with beef or chicken, gram for gram, ounce for ounce, in terms of protein. It's just not going to happen. Of course, there are vegetable proteins that are complete, such as quinoa and soy. However, if you look at it from a weight perspective or a volume perspective per gram, it's not even close. A lot of times when I do macro counts on my diets I send out to my clients, I use the abbreviation CHO for a carbohydrate, and I get asked all the time, why do I do that? This is why right here. Carbohydrates are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and it is understood in the science world the abbreviation for carbohydrates is CHO. Another thing to remember about carbohydrates is they're protein sparing. What do I mean by that? If you are in a low carb diet, your body will actually go through a process called gluconeogenesis and create a carbohydrate out of another macronutrient, such as a protein. With a protein, you will actually cleave off the nitrogen group, amino acid group, or protein portion of the protein molecule, and your body will create a carbohydrate. It will find a way. So when you eat more carbohydrates, your protein can be used more for what we discussed in the last slide. It can be used more for repairing your muscles, for making enzymes, for making hormones. So when you are getting in plenty of carbohydrates in your diet, there is a protein sparing effect, especially for the people who are looking to put on muscle mass. If you are skimping out on your carbohydrates and you're trying to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time, you're probably going to be spinning your wheels. So carbohydrates are important. It is also important that you get those carbohydrates from clean sources, and I've just put a few pictures up here of clean sources. These are sources that I use almost every day in my own diet, and they are whole food sources with good macro and micronutrient counts. Fat and cholesterol tends to get a bad rap because people always relate these terms with having extra fat on your body or having high cholesterol in your blood work. However, you absolutely need fats and cholesterol in your diet. Every cell in your body is surrounded by a lipid bilayer. These bilayers act as protection for all your cells in your body. So in that sense, fats are essential to build these cell membranes. Cholesterol is also essential to manufacture your hormones, your sex hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. All three of these hormones in their infant stage is actually cholesterol. So if you're not getting in efficient dietary cholesterol, then you're also not going to have healthy reproduction. You're not going to have normal hormone levels. And then lastly, fats also help to lubricate your joints. If you take in a lot of good fats, such as omega-3s that exist in fish especially, then your joints are going to be more well lubricated and not be as stiff.